According to legend, the Shang Dynasty and its last ruler was a despot, and it's going to gradually give control over to the Shang. And the Shang is going to rule over China between 1766 and 1122 BC. The Shang Dynasty leaves written records and material remains so that we can understand them and how their society worked a lot better than we can the Shah. The technology that the Shang used helps to explain why the Shang were able to defeat the Shah and their rivals. Metallurgy had reached China during the Shah dynasty, but the Shah had only used bronze tools and weapons in a limited fashion. The Shang, on the other hand, used it extensively. In fact, it had a monopoly over the production of bronze by controlling the ores of copper and tin. Bronze is made out of copper and tin. They expanded production by employing government craftsmen to produce weapons out of bronze, such as axes, spears, knives, and arrowheads, exclusively for the Shang. Bronze production strengthened the Shang forces and provided them with superior arms over their rivals. On top of that, they used chariots, which begin to appear anywhere between 1500 and 1200 BC. Shang warriors used these vehicles against their adversaries in a devastating fashion, mainly because of the fact that their rivals did not have horses or chariots. With bronze weapons and the chariots, Shang armies had little difficulty imposing their rule and extending their influence. And because the ruling elites did not permit the free production of bronze, it meant that rivals and rebels had little hope of resisting Shang forces. Shang kings extended their rule to a large portion of northeastern China, centered around the modern-day province of Hainan. The kings claimed a portion of the surplus agricultural production and used it to support military forces and political allies. Shang rulers had an abundant military at their disposal. For example, records show that they had as many as 13,000 troops and capturing armies of even 30,000 troops. This might be inflated, but they show that the Shang rulers had a powerful military. Shang rulers relied upon political allies. Their authority rested on a network of walled towns whose local rulers recognized the authority of the Shang. Shang's kings controlled 1,000 or more towns. Shang society revolved around several large cities. The Shang capital, for example, moved 6 times during the course of its existence. The capital became an important social, economic, and cultural center, and this is the site of military command, of administration, bronze foundries, arts, crafts, trade, and even religious observations. One capital showed that it had walls 10 meters high and at its base 20 meters thick. This indicates that the Shang were able to mobilize their subjects, because as estimates vary, but they show that the wall took 20 years to build, and required the labor of 10,000 subjects. Another capital, the final one, Yin, they show royal palaces, archives, neighborhoods, bronze foundries, workshops, and burial grounds. 11 tombs of the Shang kings have shown particular attention. Like the resting places of pharaohs, most of these tombs attracted grave robbers. Remains show, however, that later Shang kings continued to command high respect. The graves included various goods, weapons, chariots, bronze, pottery, jade, ivory, shells, sacrificial victims like dogs, horses, and even human beings to serve the deceased monarch in the afterlife. One of the most important of these tombs is the sepulchre of a woman named Fu Hao, one of the 64 consorts or wives of the Shang king Wu Ding. Fu Hao's tomb is the only one that escaped grave robbers. Fu Hao was the king's favorite consort, and her tomb definitely reflected her status. For example, 468 bronze objects, 130 weapons, 23 bells, and 4 mirrors. If you were to take all the bronze items and weigh them, they would weigh 3,500 pounds. Metalsmiths would therefore have to make 11,000 tons of ore to produce these objects. And then, of course, bronze is very expensive and rare at this time, so you can imagine how important this woman was to the king. The tomb also contained carvings of jade to the tune of 755, 564 bone carvings, 5 finely carved ivory cups, 11 pottery objects, and 6,900 cowrie shells. It also contained the remains of 6 dogs and 16 sacrificial victims that she would need to attend to her needs after her death. The Shang realm was one of many that was organizing public life in China. Archaeological excavations show similar states dominating other regions at the same time, and that will be the subject of our next video.